Okay, this is Rebecca Senseney. I'm sharing my web quest here on earthquakes created for ninth grade earth science, talking about earthquakes, the history of earthquakes, and safety plans, and the different things that go into it. So here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about earthquakes today, and we're going to talk about how they happen, why they happen, and we're going to shake, rattle, and roll. So imagine this, you guys. It's a fall day and you just finished your first weeks of school. And upon setting down your school bags, you're heading to the kitchen for some snacks, and suddenly you hear things beginning to rattle around the kitchen and you feel the floor beneath your feet shaking and rolling. Dishes fall from the cabinets. And you look at your swimming pool and you see water swishing out all over the backyard. It's an earthquake! Okay. So you're one of the few people that are able to reach the news station. But you're told that the reporters can't get to the region to cover the event, so they hire you and your team to analyze and report all the details about the shake, rattle, and rolling. It will be your mission to explain what happened to the earth and how it has affected the region, because you'll be the only news reporters with the dish. The news station also asked to report on what communities in the earthquake regions of California, what they need to do to stay safe. You gotta keep your friends safe, your family safe, so we gotta include that in the report. So here you go, you guys. This is what we're gonna do. All right, your task is you and your team will need to assess the damage in the area of the report and report the overall effects of the earthquake. You're going to report how and why the earthquake happened, how big the earthquake was, what types of damages occurred from the quake. You also need to determine by looking into the past what the future might hold for bigger earthquakes. And since you know there could be another, report on a plan that will help keep your friends and community safe and prepared. And that's the way we're going to do it here. All right. The process. You're going to be in teams of 4, and we're going to break into pairs. Okay. Each pair will research different topics to give a comprehensive news story type report on the earthquakes. So the first pair will research and determine where, how, and why earthquakes happen. Okay, be sure to include in your report the focus, epicenter, aftershocks, the 4 types of earthquakes or waves that the earthquakes create. You also need to explain the 2 different types of scales by which earthquakes are measured. Here are some links, you guys, that you can use. You're going to enter the codes from the Science Leak or the Science links to get that information. And also there's a YouTube video here that might help you out. And the second pair is going to research major earthquakes in California between 1850 and the present. You're going to report on the location, size, and damage approximation of each major earthquake. And what type of damage was done by the aftermath of the earthquake. So think fire, tsunami, road collapses, and why they happened. And after learning about historical damages, you're going to write a report about what earthquake retrofitting means and report on some of the safety standards. So got to know what's safe and not here in California. And then you guys need to create a report on preparation methods for earthquake and the best place to go during an earthquake. So if the earth starts shaking, where are you going to go? Provide insight then to future earthquakes and our abilities to predict them. Okay, after each pair has found their information, you guys are going to get back together and pairs are going to combine your information and research, and you're going to create a 5 to 10 minute presentation on earthquakes. But remember, this should be in a news story format because you guys were hired by the news station to report on earthquakes. Okay, so your final project is going to be in a news story format. All right, and so you want to know how you guys are going to be evaluated. Okay, so here's your rubric. If you clearly and concisely describe why and how an earthquakes happen, you get a 4. If you adequately explain it, miss some information, 3. If there's some limited explanations, 2. And if it's insufficient about how and why, there's a 1. Okay, each section's worth 20 points. Same thing, clearly, concisely, you guys are going to get 4s, and adequately 3s, so forth and so on for each of those sections. Okay, so the same for the safety information and earthquake preparation and the news story presentation. You'll be 7 to 10 minutes. Use visuals. Clearly, concisely explain your news story and all the information when you put it together. When you guys are done with all of this, you guys are going to know how, why, and where earthquakes happen. Now, since we live in California, it means that we'll always be exposed to the possibility of a big shake, rattle, and roll at any moment, and knowing where to go for safety and what other disasters might happen in the aftermath could save your life, your friends' lives, your family's lives. Okay, so we have to know how to stay safe. And by understanding major historical earthquakes in North America and how to build structures to withstand them in the future, will always be at the forefront of the minds of those of us that live here in earthquake territory. Anyone have any questions? All right. And for the teacher page, the standards, California standards for earth science, and overall it just allows students to explore and learn about earthquakes and their effects and their potential damage causing events, and then you're able to present their information in a creative way with their peers after working collaboratively. And credits a textbook, and then photos, where I got my photos from. That's it. Thank you.